Hello everyone, welcome back to another banging episode of Talking That Nonsense with your host, me, Michael. Looks like we're on our 76th installment of Talking That Nonsense. Never in my wildest dreams. It's been a while. A little bit. A lot has happened. The last time I posted... Move that a little bit closer, sorry. Last time I posted was just a little bit around 6 months ago. And a lot has happened within my life. And I think you guys are owed an explanation. I'm just getting an angle. Sorry. Nah. Much better. I think you guys are owed an explanation. And with time, with this next 30 minutes, I will try to cram as much as I can in this video. This is kind of like me coming back. But there's just so much going on. Alright. So... back around here, I'm gonna have to pull it up on my phone. I'm sorry, it's just how it is. I don't remember. It's 6 months pass so fast. So if you look on my YouTube channel, it was called Goodbye for Now. It's about 6 months ago. 60 views, right? You look on when it was posted. It was posted January 24th, 2024. That was just like a video stating I just needed some time away from the internet for a little bit, start focusing on things, and, basically lock it in around that time. So, that was going on, and then, later I ended up teasing, a new series that I still may or may not start up. No, chances are I am, I just don't know when. But it's going to be like a true crime type of thing. Different, same YouTube channel, just different show. Yeah. But, so I didn't post for a while. I was planning on doing it, so it was January, February, yeah. It was February. Some stuff ended up happening in February. For the uninitiated, I think everybody knows at this point, but I think it was just February 16th. February 16th, my mother ended up having a stroke. And she ended up having a pretty major stroke. And I was out and about celebrating a birthday, a day before the birthday, and I get a call from my brother. He apparently tried to reach me, multiple times, but I had my phone on silent because I was hanging out with people, so I kept it on silent. I had one of the people come up to me and they were like, "You need to call your brother right now," and I was like, "Why?" Because he just called me. It's important. So I called him back. I was like, "What?" I was like, "Okay, yeah, sure." I said, "What's going on?" He said, "Mom's not well. Meet me at the hospital." And I said, "What?" He said, "Mom's not well. You need to meet me at the hospital now." So we jumped in the car and we raced down to St. Elizabeth's. So my brother explained to me how she was fine, because leading up to that, before leading up to that, I remember waking up in the morning, saying hi to her. They came inside my room. They were bothering me, being goofy, and I went to go hang out, and she was inside the bathroom. I think she was taking a bath. So I yelled outside the door. I was like, "Okay, Mom, heading out. Love you. Bye." She's like, "Bye." So before that, she was completely fine. Nothing wrong. So back to the hospital. He was like, "Yeah, she was completely fine." Then she started getting all hot, and then her shoulder started hurting or whatever like that, and then she said her head started hurting, because they went out originally to go get ingredients to go make dinner, like ground beef and stuff like that, but they were yeah, we were just walking along. All of a sudden, she grabbed onto my shoulder and started slouching against like the freezers, the coolers that you get like cold food from the grocery store. So she just grabs his shoulder. He's like, to this day, I still remember. She grabbed my shoulder, all like I don't know where, with strength, and you just felt her hand go weak, and then she slouched against the thing, and then she was like trying to be funny about it because she remember she was complaining about being hot. She was like, that feels so much better, and then she started throwing up everywhere, and she started slurring her speech. So I was like, okay. So once we got up to the ICU. So there was my mother, clear as day, in a hospital bed with an IV in and on air. She was disoriented. I could see it. And I was like, what's going on? I see doctors running around the room and trying to get her situated. And everything just kind of like was going extremely fast. My mind was going at 100 miles per hour. I was starting to get teary because that's my mother. So the doctor walked up to me. He was like, yeah, but I'm sorry, but your mother did have a stroke. And then, like, once that was said, everything in my head, everything in the area just went quiet. Just went, whoosh. And I just stared at him. I was staring in his eyes. Tears starting to fall down my face. And it didn't feel real. So I fell. I slouched on the ground. Like, I fell on my knees, and I was crying. Ran up to her. I was like, Mom, it's okay, Mom. You're gonna be all right, Mom. It's okay. I'm right here. What happened? And so the doctors were talking to her because I guess she kind of came back a little bit. Face was still kind of droopy, but she was able to talk at that point, kind of, sort of. Doctors are like, hey, do you know where you're at? Do you know what your name is? And something that still shakes me to my core to this day is that she was able to identify where she was. She knew exactly where she was. And she knew that she was in trouble. That's what kind of scared me, because I knew she was in trouble. She was like, I'm in St. Elizabeth. She was like, I'm in St. Elizabeth's Hospital, Youngstown. And I lost it. So, they were like, okay, so we gotta start acting a little bit fast because the worst case scenario is like the stroke, the clot, like spread somewhere to like her brain or something. Not that to her brain, but like somewhere else, or it gets bigger or something like that. Whatever they said. And they're like, we're gonna give her. We have like two different options. We could rush her to surgery, and we could try to like stick it something like wherever, like see what they're like, get a tool, stick it up there, see if we could burst it up, or take some type of like clot busting agent. So at the time, my brother being the oldest, they asked him, and he said, yeah, we'll go for the injection, we'll go for the clot buster. We did it, and she started like showing signs of improvement immediately. She was starting to get her strength back in her hand. She was, it was nice. She was calm, and I thought, my mother was gonna pull through. So, I was there. I was still freaking out though. But I was like, it's gonna be all right, Mom. I'll be back tomorrow. You can't come out yet. I said that was. I was like, you can't leave yet. But I said I'll be back tomorrow to come and get you. And I was like, just listen to everything the doctors tell you, please, and don't give him any trouble. I still remember. She was like, do I have a choice? I will. So then I was like, I love you. She was like, I love you too. I gave her a kiss. I guess she, she smiled at me because she had her eyes closed, so she smiled at me. And I guess she fell asleep. Kind of fell asleep, I guess. But those were the last words my mother said to me. Because later that day, I would get a call to say that her condition has worsened. Has worsened. And they had her on air. Like, I forget what it's called. Like, incubate. I forget what it's called. When they stick a tube down your throat. Like, you need to come down here immediately. She's gotten worse. We stuck a tube down her throat. So I got up. I rushed down to the hospital. And there my mother laid. Put a tube down her throat. And them helping her breathe. Manually. So I was sitting there and I was like, what happened? They were like, you see, what happened was her, I forget the nitty gritty of it, but they basically said her brain began to swell really bad, to the point where it was cutting off major arteries to the back of her spinal cord, somewhere in the back of her neck, which basically shut down all her, functions, basically. And it basically shut down her reflexes. So she couldn't talk, she couldn't walk, she couldn't breathe on her own. So that was terrible news. But this all happened within a span of 4 or 5 days. I think it was 4. As time goes on, and they were putting her on this really concentrated IV fluid to try to get that, because it was highly concentrated with salts and stuff, to try to pull some of the moisture or whatever you want to say, liquid out of her brain, and reduce the swelling. And they were doing that. They had the ventilator or whatever, and they were doing it. They were keeping her alive. And as time went on, they started rolling out possible brain death. And I was like, what is that? What does this mean? What's going on? Well, you see, what happens is, it's if you want me to put it bluntly, the woman you knew 2 days ago, you'll never see her again. And I was like, what? They were like, the woman you knew 2 days ago, you'll never see again. The woman that hugged you, kissed you, walked around, told you that she loved you. They said, that'll never happen again. I said, that's your mother, they said. I was like, yeah, that's my mother. But they're like, she's not there. And I was like, huh? It's like, that's your mother. Sorry. But they're like, that's your mother. But she's not there anymore. So I was like, she's just a body. No, but I was like, no, she's just a body at this point, huh? Yeah. So, you're telling me my mother's gone? She's brain dead, so she's not with us anymore. So it hit me. Because at first I thought she was going to be able to bounce back from this. And yeah, stroke recovery is long and it's a hard road. And some people are never really the same after it. And I was preparing for that. My sister didn't know what was going on because how young she was, but there is nothing more crushing than having to go up to your sister and tell her that Mom's not coming home today. Mom's not coming home tomorrow. I said, Mom's not coming home ever. I said, Mom's not coming home. She didn't understand. I said, that's not Mom anymore. She's already gone. It sucked. And I sat there and I thought to myself, and I was like, I said, there's no way in hell that 18 years of my life, 18 whole years of my life was just undone in 4 days. And then, as the days went on, it slowly started to set in. The realization that my mother's gone. I was just talking about graduation. I was talking about going to college. I was talking about the police academy. I was talking about a lot with her just 3 days ago. Around that time, I just recently bought myself an iPad, and I was talking about buying her an iPad too and everything. This was also around the time I think I thought I fractured my hand. For most people, if they remember that, I thought I fractured my hand. It wasn't fractured. I just bruised it really bad, but we thought it was a crazy fracture. But just around that time, I remember that conversation. I still remember like it happened yesterday. We were in the car conversating, and I remember the drive home. So as the days went on, I kept every day, went to the hospital, was there for a couple hours. I was there. And I couldn't. Just sitting there watching my mother die like that in front of my face, in front of my eyes. Over time, I knew it was slowly coming to an end when, after a while, her arms and hands started swelling and turning purple. I went to go look at her eyes, and her eyes were starting to puff and turn all yellow. Her skin was turning purple. She felt warm but cold at the same time. So I told my family that day, I said that was the last time I was coming back to the hospital. Because originally they were going to do a final test to officially declare her brain dead and pull her plug. And I said I didn't want to be there. I said I hate it. I said I I don't want this to be the last memory I have of my mother laying in a hospital bed with a tube down her throat. And I said I refuse. And they call me whatever, but I said I've had my fill. I'm done. So I left. I gave my mother a hug. I gave my mother a kiss on the forehead, and I left. And that was the final time I saw my mother. It was the final time I saw her. Just moments ago, just moments later, I get a text. It's over. It's done. The night that she had the stroke and the night I spent home alone, it's like everything was frozen in time. Everything that she used, everything that she touched was right where she left it. She left the TV on, paused, because she was going somewhere to the store and she was going to come back. She had the TV paused. She had everything. She had her coffee. She had it all right there. Wherever she left it. And that was the end of it. That was the death of my mother. And it was just supposed to be another day. And when, people heard about it, they were worried. Because I still made an attempt to go to school those days. I still tried to go. I ended up taking like 4 days off of school because I made a promise to my mom that first day she had the stroke. I said, because like I said, I thought she was going to come home. So I told her, I said, hey, I'm going to get everything I said, the house is going to be spotless. It's going to be clean. Everything's going to be clean. It's going to be amazing. And she was like, okay. And then that was around the time I said, okay, I'll be back tomorrow. I love you. It's the last time she smiled at me, last time she said a word to me. But that entire week I spent, in the coming week too, I spent cleaning. I cleaned that house top to bottom, pristine, perfect. I did so much. And I tell people, I said I was robbed my childhood, quote unquote. I said I wasn't expecting this. I said this is unfair and I have to go out and be an adult. And I had those people, and it's sad to even think about, but I had those people go, oh well, you're 18, so you're 18, you're an adult, it's not that big of a deal, it's not that you're an adult, you were gonna leave eventually. Yeah. Okay. So the same people that told me that, the same people that went womp womp, grow up, be an adult now, those are the same people that are still living in right now. I'm graduated. Those are the same people that are still living with their parents. Those are the same people that still use mommy and daddy's money. Those are the same people that are still driving mommy and daddy's car. And 9 times out of 10, those are the same people that don't have a job yet. So when I said this was unfair, and this is unfair, and and they're like, oh well, you are 18. You were 18. So it's not like this wasn't gonna. I was like, I said, to have your mother just ripped out of your hands as quick as that and as simply as that. I said, this was unexpected. We didn't expect her to have a damn stroke just next month, you know? We didn't expect it. And the point I kept making was, I know as soon as school's over, I said, I don't see any of you guys moving out immediately. That's usually how it goes, unless you got some pretty brutal parents that'll kick you out as soon as you graduate. That's not what was going to happen. I was going to live with her for a little bit longer, because I know she still wanted me to live with her a little bit longer. She wasn't ready to let me go, as much as I wasn't ready to let her go. So, I had to cope. I was coping really bad. Cleaned the house spotless. It was amazing. Funeral came up soon. Went to it. Then it was just the house, me and my brother. Long story short, the way I cleaned that house is not the way it is presently. Let's shift the conversation a little bit, which leads us to now. It's August. What is it? It's August 3rd. School's starting up again for most people soon. My classes at Kent State Trumbull for the Police Academy start up on the 19th. That one piece of hair. Sorry. My classes for Kent State Trumbull start on the 19th. Within that time frame of my mother passing and now, I got a job. I got a new job. I lost my old car. I got a new car. And I got my own place. The building that I am sitting in right now is my place. It's a trailer. It's a trailer house, but it's a nice trailer house. Maybe I'll post you guys. Maybe I do a trailer tour, but it's really nice. Oh, it's my alarm. Sorry about that. I had a 30-minute alarm. Sorry. But I worked for all this. I got my own room, I got my own kitchen, I got my own living room, I got my own bathroom, I got my own laundry room. I worked for it, and I got it within that time frame. I got a place to live. But at what cost? At the death of my mother. She wasn't there for my birthday for the first time. She wasn't there for my graduation for the first time and last time. So it wasn't there physically, but I knew she was there with me up above. Quite frankly, that's the only thing that mattered to me. Because I ended up making her proud. I still made it through school, and I still crushed it, and I still made it out. I kept that one promise I made oh so long ago, that I'm going to graduate and I'm going to go to the police academy. I'm doing it now. I am living up to the promise I made to my mother when I was a kid. So, just recently, a day or two ago, my mother didn't really like to be on camera too much. She hated being on camera because she always thought, my hair's not good. I look old. I was like, it's no big deal. But it was a video of me recording her chop up sweet potatoes to make sweet potato fries. And that was the first and only time she ever made homemade sweet potato fries, ever. But when you go on Snapchat and you see the 1 year ago this day, or the August recap, that just randomly popped up, and I completely forgot I had a video of my mother. That's one of the only videos of me, that I have of my mother. And up until that point, I forgot what my mother's voice sounded like. Up until that point, I forgot what my mother looked like. This may sound weird, but I forgot what my mother smelled. Everybody has a smell. My mother kind of smelled like cocoa butter and like baby powder. But up until that point, but still now, actually no, I found some of her lotion that she used, the cocoa butter lotion. So up until that point, because I went looking, I forgot what she smelled like. And just hearing her voice brought me joy. To hear her voice again, to hear my mother, it was the greatest feeling ever. And I loved it. And it put a smile on my face, and I proceeded to cry after. But like I said, that's one of the only few videos I have of my mother, so can't be too upset. Well, can't be too oh baby about it. But which leads us to now. I just recently got back from work not too long ago. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to upload. I think I've kept the people waiting for too long. But for the people that are going to watch this video, watch it or not, to the fullest or halfway or skip around, it's fine. But I'm kind of going through it right now. I'll be the first one to admit I am not in the proper headspace right now. I got a lot to worry about. I got insurance, I got utilities, I have it all for little old me. And most people would be like, I commend you. 19 with your own place. Most people that get out of high school wouldn't even dream about doing that for a couple of years. And I did it. Did it for my mama. But I haven't been the same person. And how dare there are people out there to this day that try to hold me for being different. And you're like, what do you mean being different? My mother passed away, and to this day I'm still feeling the effects of it. 6 months later, just like most people. This isn't a best friend, this isn't a great uncle, this is my mother. For the people to say, you've been acting weird, you've been acting distant, you're not the same. Of course I'm not going to be the same. Because I'm not the same. Because I'm missing something critical in my life. I'm missing my upbringer. I'm missing my mother. And I miss her every day. My two cats, Figgy and Stitch, you guys know them. And I know the untimely departure of my mother has hit me hard. But I think it hit them the hardest. I think it hit CJ the hardest. But for those people that say, you act different, Michael, you're not the same, you're really distant, you're really cold, then I'm so sorry. Matter of fact, I'm not. No, I'm done. I'm not. You know what? I'm not. I'm not sorry. I've been sorry my entire life, and I'm sick of it. I'm done. So why should I feel sorry for feeling bad? And I'll admit, I'm not the same person I was. And it hurts. You think I like feeling this way? You think I like waking up every morning and feeling this way? I hate it. Quite frankly, I hate everything right now. I hate my job. I hate my life. I hate this routine. I hate this schedule. Same thing every week. And I hate it. And on top of that, some people that I hold the closest to me are not here. I'm lost. And I'm not okay. But thank you guys for taking the time to listen, to hear me out. I appreciate it. Please. Same thing that I've been preaching for the longest time. We should go out, go do something that you enjoy. Go watch some TV, go play outside, go do something, go sunbathe. because at the end of the day, nobody is more important than you. Then again, my name is Michael, and you've been watching Talking That Nonsense. But this reminds me of an old quote that I heard, and I still remember it to this day. I think the quote went something like, "What doesn't kill you makes you stronger." Have a good day, everyone.